Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I had to turn the light on. I am making a farmer's favorite rye bread, but instead of making it with yeast, we're going to make this bread a sourdough. Now, I already have 3 cups of a dark rye flour here, and we are going to be adding 3 cups of that. We are going to be adding 5 cups of all-purpose. I'm actually canning. I had to cook the chicken yesterday, and I have chicken stock, so I decided I'd go ahead and can it and pack it away. I already have the bones in the freezer for when I make more bone broth. Alright. We're going to mix this flour up. This is going to be our working flour. I don't have any more rye flour. They really wanted 5 cups of rye flour, but I only have 3 cups, so I'm using 3 and compensating for this. I should buy some white rye. That's all right. This is going to be a sourdough, so this will not be finished being made until tomorrow. I'm done getting this started. Good morning, Randy. I'm going to have to make some buttermilk. So this is how crazy my mornings get. I've already canned. You're going to hear it starting. See? Oh, how long am I going to do that? Hold on. I never remember. Pure stock, fish, chicken, 98. That's why you have so many cookbooks. Unless you can remember everything. 25. Okay. We've got that. All right, now we're going to start this culture. Now, I had already used all my discard. So I had extra sourdough, sponge culture, and liquor. I just mixed them up because the jars were full, and I poured it in here, so I'm going to go ahead and use it here. So let me figure out how much do I need. I'm going to use a whole cup of this. Only because I know it's a lot because I just did it. You get this in the refrigerator. Okay, so sourdough culture. This is a difficult step, this one. Alright, now let's see. Half a cup, I guess it's I think about how I'm going to do this. I have to do this. Hi, YT. And, oh yeah, this is not my bread bowl. I have a bread bowl that's even bigger than this one. Let's see, they want to... Let's add 1/4 of a cup of water to this. cup of flour in here. Our flour mixture, because that's going to be our working flour. I know it's difficult to hear me because it's going. Let me turn it down now. See how this one comes out. Tell me if I got this right. Yeah, I guess this is all right. Now we're going to let this sit for about, I'll tell this evening. And then we're going to try with another cup of flour and a fourth of a cup of cold water and see how it goes. When you're doing these rises, what's really called proofing before you actually make the bread, you have to use water because basically your starter is just bread flour. Well, let's just say flour and water. So once it's completely proofed, we can sit there and add the milk and everything else we want. Hi, Richie. Well, this is going to be a farmer's favorite rye bread, and what you hear here is the chicken stock from cooking that chicken thighs yesterday for the salad. I want to can it, pack it away for winter because I'm going to need it. Good morning, Dipper. So let me go put this by a window. Your working flour here, you are going to put a plate on it and keep it on the counter because you're going to need it this evening and tomorrow morning. This is going to be working with. So I'll cover this up and leave it in the kitchen here. Let me go put this in a wooden bowl. Now I have to make some buttermilk. You want to know what my son and I are going to be making this afternoon? I'm going to tell you. This afternoon, with a son that does not want you to see, I'll tell you what we're going to be making. We're going to make a tasty tuna loaf is what we're going to make. And he's going to learn to work with pastry. Well, actually a dough. It's not really that difficult, but he's going to have to learn how to roll it out and design it and set it up. And that's his big lesson today. Hi, Vocal. And good morning. So that's when he gets up, that's what he's going to have to do today. So he's going to learn how to actually shape dough and make something with it. I have them both at different levels, so I have to do that for them. Okay. So we've got the farmer's favorite till this evening. Buttermilk jar. Another mess in the house. And I'll show you how you do it. this milk. No, they finished my sidewalk. I want them to put those blocks there because they just finished it and a car tried running up on the sidewalk. I was standing out there. I just looked at her. Are you really, you fat, chunky? Well, what I said wasn't very nice in my head. I gave her a look of a mother for a little girl who's doing something wrong, and she backed off the curb. I mean, she's already trying to tear it down. I said, shoot, it's not even 24 hours, and you're already doing that. So take 3.5 cups of regular milk. Okay, I'll heat this up in a minute. All what you have to do is buy buttermilk in the store. That's it. Once you buy it once, you won't have to buy it anymore unless you sit there and don't care for it. And you're going to get a 1/2 cup of that buttermilk that you bought. Put a 1/2 cup in a quart jar. Now you're going to take this. You're not going to be able to see me really do this. I got pressure to me, right? I mean my canner right there. And what I'm going to do is heat this up. Now, all what you're going to do is take the chill off of this. Do not boil it, do not overheat it, or you'll kill your culture. That's not what you want to do. All what you want to do is take the chill off the buttermilk. So don't you dare. You heat this buttermilk up, but you can't see because I have my candy. All you're going to do is stir this. If you do not stir it, it's going to heat up on the bottom, the buttermilk. And then what's going to happen is it's going to be too hot and it's going to kill your culture. So you stir it. So it heats it up. It comes up and rotates. That's the whole object of stirring things. Just like when I go to I'm going to make a rich vanilla ice cream today as well. And this is what you have to do. If you don't do it, it heats up so much on the bottom, you kill all those eggs coming up. The same thing with buttermilk. If you overheat it on the bottom, or you boil it, you destroy the milk. You can't use it. You're going to kill the cultures. It's too hot. I just heat it up long enough to take the chill off. I use my fingers. And once the chill is off, that's it. I'm done. And I just put it together, pour it into the jar, seal it, shake it for a good minute. And then take and release the pressure in the lid because the cultures are going to explode if you're not careful. So you have to you just set the lid gently on top of it and cover it with towels and leave it. They say on a hot day, on a really hot day, your kitchen's hot, 4 hours. Check it. I did the 8 hours and that was too much. Now I'm going to set this because my kitchen is cool. I might not check it till this evening, and if it's not completely buttermilk, then I'll just leave it until morning. But if you're in a cold place, it can take up to 3 days. Hi, Jason. How are you? Yes, that's my pressure canner. This is my pressure canner. I've got this cloth for 30 minutes. My younger son bought this. This is an All-American model 921. They're a bit expensive, but they are so worth it. There's no gasket that you have to care for or replace for anything. It's cut in a bevel. You know, you just have to be careful with it. Like everything else, read your instructions, fully understand them before you work with it. If you don't, you can end up with some real problems. See, the chill is almost off my buttermilk. And so when you take the lid off of your buttermilk, you just lay the lid on very gently. and just lay the rim on to hold the lid on. Then what you do is put 2 towels and wrap it up in the towel and let it do what it has to do, as I say. Hi, Be Rich, okay? Into my pressure cooker, I have 2-quart jars of chicken stock. I cooked those thighs yesterday, and I wasn't going to throw that water out. And it's got good flavor because I threw a carrot in it, and I threw celery, and I threw about 15 black peppers in it, and I threw some parsley in it. I strained it, and I heated it up, and I canned it. This is where I take a little bit of stuff that I have. If I have left over, I'm going to put it and can it. Okay, the chill is completely off of this. Now, I can't even start the ice cream because that pressure can is going, and that's where I need to be so I can actually do what I have to do. Okay, let me get a lid for it. Just right there. Oh, thank you for the sundae. Get you one of what? The pressure canner? Thank you, Be Rent, for the flour. Sometimes I think it just things on. Thank you for the heart, Be Rent. That I caught. I was looking. So I'm not going to waste it. I'll drink it. No, I just love some of my candy. I have some pearl onions. They're good. I might just pickle those today and get those in a canner too. And get the water bath canner out. Yeah, these fresh, this is one of the small ones. They have really large ones, but because I have the light over the stove, I said, my son was going to give me the big one, so I could stack like 3 levels. I said, no. I said, I can't. This is the only size I can get because it fit under my, the lights. If I didn't have the lights and stuff above here, I could do it, but I can't. So if I ever get this kitchen done, I'm going to take that away from the top of the range, top of the stove, so I could sit there and buy the bigger ones and do what I have to do so I can get more done. This way it takes me longer to do it. Now, I found an ice cream book. I want to get this I have an ice cream book, but I want to get another one. I was reading some of his recipes. I said, oh, that's the way I got to get this cookbook. Good morning, B. How are you? And Kenya, good morning. Shop, good morning. My son ordered me 2 casino coffees. He said, Mommy, so you can have some. I said, thank you. Thank you. A finger heart. Thank you very much, Rich. I usually shake this over a minute to make sure. But remember, if you're in a cold area, it could take 3 days, so be patient with it. If you're in a really hot area and your kitchen is really hot, check it in 4. So they say 8 hours is usually all it needs. When it's hot in the kitchen, I let mine sit 8 hours, and when it was completely ruined. But all you have to do is buy buttermilk one time, and as long as you keep on doing this and rotating it, you never run out of buttermilk. And I think I've used this for over a year, 2 years now, and I just keep on going. So today we're going to work with custards, and I'm going to show you how to make light cream today, later today. Because I can't do anything with this thing going. It's got to come off. There's just no way it's going to work for me. Because I need that burner. Now what you're going to do, this is all you do. Okay? You set this on very gently and put 2 towels around it and let it sit in a warm place. As long as you have a cold place, like I said, it'll take 3 days to you'll have buttermilk. As long as you do this, you don't have to worry about ever buying buttermilk except one time. If you make your yogurt, you don't never have to buy yogurt again. You just keep on going. It gets stronger with cultures, so it will keep your bowels open and nothing else. And if you make your own sourdough cultures and stuff, you do not ever have to buy yeast again. If you make your own brown sugar, all you need is molasses and sugar and make your light and dark brown. You never have to buy that again, and you never have to waste that again. So see, there are things that you can do inside your home. You can make your own tooth powder. You can make your own detergent. There's so many things you could save. Because when I make detergent, I might spend $50, $55 max. But I'm going, there's 3 of us in this house, and believe you me, my sons wear a lot of clothes, more than I do. It'll last me 9 to 10 months, and I only spend that much. And before, I was spending $10 to $40 a month. That's $480. So you can see the price goes really up. Like I said, if I ever get this driveway done, I want to put clotheslines by the back door, so I can sit there on these warm days and it's sunny. To save gas and electricity, I can hang the clothes out there and let the sun dry them. And I know that they'll be brighter, because we used to do that when I was younger. So I'm aware of that. So these are points where if you want to start saving pennies in your home, women have done this and they have saved a ton of money. So when you think about how much money you waste on wipes, they say Clorox wipes to wipe your kitchen down. I use a rag. I clean my kitchen once in a while. It's almost like these women don't want to clean at all. Anything that makes their life more lazy, they're content with. I mean, I haven't bought mayonnaise like in years. Oh, that's something I have to do. I have to make mayonnaise today. Yeah, I'm busy. Not wasting that. Not wasting. And if you're peeling and you have a yard, you could take your vegetable and fruit peelings and seeds and stuff, and you could bury them in your yard. And your yard would be healthier. You wouldn't have to go out and buy fertilizer and everything. You could do that instead, save yourself some money. So just think about it. There's ways of saving money. I can buy materials, spend less than $100, get a pattern, zipper, button, interface, lining, thread, everything. You have a sewing machine, you can make a dress for under what you would normally pay. So the only way to keep up with people who make their clothes by hand is to sit there and sell you polyester with elastic. Make you feel like you're really skinny, and sit there and polyester is oil you're wearing, and that is hot. So what they do is they have to mix it with cotton so it has a little bit of breathing material. And then you put the elastic in it, and then, oh my God, I don't have to iron. No, you're not wearing anything natural. So they make the dresses cheap. You get a sale for something for $50 or $60 and you say I got a sale. But the clothes don't really keep you warm. Hi Samantha, how are you doing? I gotta make mayonnaise now. Mayonnaise I have is too old. So let's see, I need oil. I'm going to use sunflower oil today. Okay, you need salt and sugar and dry mustard. Let me see if I have any more lemon juice. Okay, we're going to use vinegar this time. Okay, I'm going to use apple cider. The only one I haven't used is wine vinegar yet, but I've used just about every other vinegar. Okay, we need flour. You have to use all-purpose flour if you're going to make your own mayonnaise. You're also going to need 2 eggs. Alright, you're going to need 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose. Oh, wait, you don't can anymore? When? Oh, your wife did the canning. Okay. All right, you need a teaspoon of dried mustard. Well, that's not going to fit in there. We'll use this spoon. Now this is a cooked mayonnaise. It's the only stabilized one. Any other mayonnaise recipe you have is going to mess up. You need a teaspoon of sugar. I've shown this recipe 100 times with a spoon at once, but people keep on asking. Now the oil you use is going to dictate pretty much the flavor of it that you're going to get for mayonnaise. So you need a teaspoon of salt. You have to mix this up, believe it or not. As you see, I've got a lot of cooking ahead of me today. At least I got all the wash done yesterday. I need measuring cups. Okay. I never have enough measuring cups either. That's another notorious thing I'm famous for. Okay. Need a glass. Alright, now you need 3/4 of a cup of cold water. You're going to do 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. Whatever vinegar you want to use. The only one I haven't used making this so far is wine. That's the only one I haven't used. I know apple cider causes the body to go alkaline, so I'll use this one today. What kind of oil do you want? That dictates what kind of flavor you want. I'm going to be using sunflower and apple cider vinegar, so you can see you can get different flavors. There's a lot of those, Richie. God, my wrist hurts. This arm has not gotten any rest. I don't know how long it's going to take that tendon to heal, but I'm right-handed, and I got to use it. All right. Now, I'm going to warn you about this mayonnaise. This will scorch and burn if you are not careful. Draw your measuring cup out. You're going to need 1 cup of oil. So I know the dish that my son and I are going to be making today. And I know he needs mayonnaise. And I have an old one. You're going to need a hand mixer or your arm is going to fall off. That's why I tell people, you really need a mixer. You don't want to hurt yourself. You need 1 cup of oil. I'm trying to kill time so I can get over here and show you what it looks like. That's what we're actually waiting for. See, all the other mayonnaise that don't have a binder in it to hold it together, this is what the flour is going to do. Because this is almost going to be a paste, so when you go to emulsify the eggs and mix it with this and then add the oil, it will hold it together, and that's what you want it to do. The other ones separate. As soon as they get warm, they separate, so you have to keep the mayonnaise in the refrigerator, use it real quick, and eat it. Whereas this one, I can sit it out and not worry about it. And I have used every mayonnaise recipe I have found, and none of them hold together. So you do not have to believe me, but you will go through the same ritual trying to find one that binds together, that you can take on picnics and say, well, I can't, so therefore I'll buy it in the store. You know, people want to do it their way. You need a hand mixer. This one is a KitchenAid. I love KitchenAid. I have a mixer. KitchenAid. These things are great. They're like workhorses. I don't care what I put it through, it just keeps on going. I know my mill is really good, but they said don't run it longer than 30 minutes or it overheats. So I just turn it off after 30 minutes and I let it cool down, and then I continue. I thought I cleaned this last time. I guess I did. We are going to need to wait. This makes, I think, about 2 cups. Don't hold me, I've never really measured it, approximately. I just heard about all ice creams that they have in the store, and I said, you're not telling me something I don't know. I've been preaching, and people are now finding out some of the things that I've talked about are really, really true. All right, I'm going to have to... I'm waiting for this. That is my problem. I'm really waiting for this. We have a few more minutes if you want to wait, and no, it's going to be longer than that. What you're going to do, you're not going to be able to see me do this. I am so tired. You're going to take this liquid, and you are going to stir it while it's cooking. Make sure you get all the flour and stuff. It's going to stick. You have to be really careful. It'll get very pasty, all right, and thick. Keep cooking it for another minute or two because you have to cook that flour or you're going to have that raw flour taste in your mayonnaise, and that's not what you want. Most people say, you can't cook flour. Yes, you can. I know you're going to see my pressure cooker, but I'm going to be back there behind it doing what I have to do. I just don't know how I can show you what I am doing. Let's see if I can pull you up. I still don't think you can see what I'm doing in the back here, but we'll try. And I'm way back here. Now you see why I need 6 burners? That's why my husband was going to buy me an industrial stove. I have the kitchen converted so I could get things done. If this is liquid, you keep stirring because it's going to clump up. As you get the lumps, you keep on stirring and keep on beating it, and the whole thing will become like a paste. And you keep cooking it till you cook that flour, which is a minute or two. So you keep on stirring it constantly. You walk away from it, it will burn. And then you have to start all over. put it on high if you want. It doesn't matter. Or low, it just depends. The lower the flame, the longer it will take. With the mayonnaise, as long as you keep on stirring, the flour won't burn. At least it hasn't for me yet. Now mine's going to have a slightly off color. That's because I use kelp. Understand that? Mine's starting to lumpy. You'll see it going through. It looks almost like jello a little bit. Jello. Just keep on stirring. Mine's completely thick and pasty, and I'm going to keep on stirring it. Now I'm cooking the flour. I'll show you what it looks like before we mix it all up, so you can see what it's got to look like. 9 you're almost done. In a minute, like it's going to be off. It'll look like it has a film on the bottom as you stir it. Don't worry about it. Just keep on stirring. Okay. That's a minute. Let me get in that. Let's bring you down and get you back over here. You can enjoy that trip. What is this new corner? What are you talking about, Alexa? I was in the back of it. That's why I was describing what it looked like. Okay, when you're done making this is exactly what it's going to look like. See? Like Jell-O. Very, very thick. That's what it looks like. Stir this. I'm going to stir this and cool this down a bit before we go, but you don't have to, but I want to. I'm killing time because I have that pressure cooker going. Now I'm making mayonnaise. I had canned and we got the bread going. What's the name of that bread? Oh, I already put it up. It's a country rye bread, sourdough. We won't finish that up till tomorrow. So as you can see, this is really, really thick. This is what you want, like a gel. You have your 2 eggs. eggs are beaten, very, very good. Now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to add this as hot as it is. That's why I was cooling it down a bit. You're going to add it to these eggs. Now, if you add it and you don't beat this thing on high, you're going to find your eggs are going to curdle. In other words, they're going to cook and it's not going to mix together and you're going to start all over. Trick is adding this while this is going on high. And I mean, you have to. You really do. I've done this enough. I got the cord here next to a hot pot. I don't want that. And yeah, that will be a problem. That might be hot enough I can get away with doing it like this. You see it's like a gel. Now you see why the mayonnaise will hold its shape. See how thick it's getting? Okay, now this is just the flour and the egg. You see how it's already holding together like that? Now slowly, we're going to blend this oil into it. And the object of doing this is that the egg has to absorb with the oil and make it work. The flour is going to hold it and bind this together as we do it. Now to emulsify takes time. So this is where you add a little at a time and you work it and work it and work it until you get it all done. Now if you want to do this by hand, you go ahead and knock yourself out. You have to understand the dynamics of cooking. If you don't, you should be following the recipe, but you also have to learn the language of it. And sometimes you say, why are they doing this? If you don't understand why, you cannot sit there and really change the recipe. Like I have some yams here, and I have a sweet potato, a potato biscuit. I'm thinking about taking those yams when I'm done here, cooking them down, and seeing how biscuits come out with them. And using sour cream with it, so it'd be yam sour cream biscuits. I don't know how it's going to come out. I'll take my basic biscuit recipe and play with it and see what I come up with. Butter, all you need is heavy cream. There's so much you can make on your own with a few ingredients. how you make mayonnaise. A mayonnaise that will stay and hold its shape and everything else. You don't have to worry about putting it in the refrigerator and eating it as soon as you take it out and put it on the sandwich, because it's going to separate from the heat. I'm sure people who make mayonnaise like that with just egg and oil or a little bit of sugar and stuff and doesn't have a binder in it, they cannot take their mayonnaise to a picnic. It will fall apart on them. I should know, like I said, I went through all of that. Every last one of those stupid recipes. I said, something is missing here. This is not working. I'm going to clean out my mayonnaise jar. See, the mayonnaise goes together. Okay. Right. So I'll dry it out and then I'll put it in the refrigerator, and then I have it for, because we need it today. I mean, people would be lost without supermarkets. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be lost on some, but at least I have enough knowledge to know you can trade and barter with farmers, you know. And you should know some about the wild food that grows out there, you know. Like if I can't find caraway seeds, I know there's seeds that grow the wild, what a lot of people call weeds. I can go and just pick them up out in the yard, and I can sit there and use them in place of it. And I have. Believe it or not, I really have. Do I know everything? No, I don't. But what I know, I know. And I learn more each day. Like I told you, I might be 73, but I'm still learning. And that's what you have to do. Oh. Do I get tired because I'm older? Sure I do. Cleaning this house. I always say cleaning house is like killing me, you know. But it's hard, and it has to be done. When I garden, God does my back talk to me. Sandy, you know what you're doing to me? Yeah, I know, and you're going to let me know, you know, for a couple of days after I recover from it. Because I'll sit down in the yard and I will pull weeds and clear areas out. Use my hands, that's what they're for. I had potato plants, but my son ran them over. I said, do you know you just ran over my potato plants? Really? Yeah. I'm beginning to think I should make little blocks of vegetables and build it up so they don't run them over. You see how thick this is? That's homemade mayonnaise done right. what do you pay, $5, $6 for it unless you get it on sale? Like I learned about ice creams and I was laughing. People don't know. And you wonder why you look so old. You feel so weak. Achoo! Achoo! Men and women have to work together. Men are going to go for older women who know how to be women. And they're going to sit there and go after younger women to have children. So you think about that. You got a whole race. And I hate to say it, my generation, and I was against it. My mother told me to embrace it. And I said, no, I am not embracing that. I was so happy to know I was a little girl. I was going to grow into a woman. And I was going to have children. And I was going to have a good husband. I was so glad about that. My mother said, don't you want to go out and do? No. My mother would be the one at the bars, not me. That was her lifestyle. That was not mine. No, thank you. You know, that's it. She was into this thing with Jane Fonda. I wasn't. She and I had fights about it. Disagreed with her. I let her talk till she was blue in the face. And I kept saying, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's how we answered our parents. And I did not do what she wanted me to do. And most of you say that you modeled. Yeah, well, I fell into that. I was doing my homework on the floor. Mayonnaise. Wasn't that easy? Very simple. Now I've got to get this lid and stuff off. Now, if you're going to make ice cream, I would not recommend using my salt mixture. I would recommend using iodized salt or whatever salt they tell you, but don't use the kelp. Yeah, the pantry's not big enough either. I have a whole shelf in there that's about this wide, loaded with seasonings and mixtures that I've made. And I tell you, I think I have everything in there. I'm sure somebody say you don't have this. Yeah, well, I missed that. Okay. All right, my pressure cooker's getting ready to open. So when I go to make ice cream, I hope to get it done this morning before my sons get up. Let's see what we can do with that. Come up with those potato biscuits. Okay. I am 3 degrees before I can open that. Hello, John, James, Patty Rice. That's a cute one. We're just waiting so I can get rid of this pressure canner here, but it's got to drop down to 0, and I'm like 3 degrees from it. So then I can release the heat on it and get those jars out and move it so I can get the ice cream going. I don't know if you want to stay around for that or what. But what we're going to do, I've already showed you how to make a very, very simple vanilla ice cream. But this one's going to be an extra rich one because we're going to learn how to make light cream, which is very simple. I'll give you the ratio of making light cream, and then you can make your own light cream and not have any problems. Okay, Hi, okay, and it's going to use, they say extra large eggs, but because I only have large eggs, so I'm going to be doing 5 eggs. So if you just have large eggs, you use 5 large eggs in place of 4 extra large. If you have extra large, you'll just be using 4 eggs, all right? So you're going to learn that, and we're going to be working with a vanilla bean this time instead of using vanilla extract. Don't use vanilla essence. That is not real vanilla, and what it has in it causes breathing problems, so be very careful that you don't use it. I know vanilla extract and vanilla beans are very expensive. I should know. I use a lot of it. Hey, Gallard, how are you? Yes, I am. So we're going to be making an extra rich vanilla, and after we're done with that, we're going to move on. I got to get that other cookbook. That other cookbook's really got my attention. I'm going to try making chili ice cream. You're saying chili? Yes. They have chocolate fudge. I have trouble with chocolate, so I'm not real quick to use chocolate all the time, but I'll make some chocolate ice cream because it's high in caffeine, so I have to be careful when I have it. And we'll try to make a coffee cream pecan. We'll try making an apple. You notice how I say I'm going to try. Ooh, this one's got brandy in it. That's an eggnog one that we're going to put in. We're going to use it. They're going to make an apple cinnamon. Cardamom. Now that sounds good. They want us to try making a brown bread one. I'm just going through some of this to give you an idea. English toffee. Doesn't that sound good? So we're going to try some of these, all right? If I could find yeah, I got some blackberries. Okay, so those are just some of the things. Now this cookbook's got other stuff in it that I've never made. This one has, let's see. Oh, I don't recognize that. They have different kinds in here. They have sauces here. Yeah, the sauces are really interesting. Oh, well, okay, this one has frozen yogurt ones, like a double ginger, blueberry lemon, double chocolate. This book is loaded with these, and they've got another one out, so I'm definitely going to pick the other one up. This has ice milk, which I've never made ice milk. That'll be new. Yeah, okay. I don't even know what it is, Gallard. You'd have to tell me what it is. I don't know. We'll just have to see what we can do. All right? But anyway, right now, we're just starting up at the beginning to show people how to make. We've made a simple vanilla, learning how to make a custard, how you can tell the custard's done. And then we're going to now move to the extra rich vanilla. Because, see, ice creams, real ice creams, are started with a custard. Always. That's why if you go to stores and stuff, you notice they don't call everything in the frozen department, that you think it's the whole ice cream department. They can't call it ice cream. So you have to read, so it's just better if you make your own ice cream. All right, let's take this off. I'm close enough now. Waiting. Las Vegas. Oh, Sheldon, you're way out there, out west. Yeah. The ice cream is good, especially if it's homemade. But they went through all the brands, and they're not all ice cream. What they have in them, if you read it, they have a lot of corn syrup. Corn syrup is not part of ice cream. Ice cream is a simple custard and you chill it, and then you sit there and you whip the heavy cream until it's creamy, and then you fold it in and you stick it in the freezer. That's ice cream. Don't let anybody fool you. If that doesn't have some sort of custard in it, and custards are made with milk and eggs and flavoring, always. Okay, you can watch me. Thank you, Jack, for agreeing. Oh, come on. If I go this way, I've got to go this way. I've got to go this way. It doesn't always want to let me go. Sometimes these things do not want to let you. But if I go this way to tighten, I've got to go this way to undo it. Okay, now you're letting go. Now you're letting go. Now, I know for a fact this lid can stick to this, so I stole a screwdriver from my husband's tools just to help release this thing. Always open this away from you. That steam will give you second degree burns and third degree. This pot is very, very hot. Where did I put it? Okay. I know it's only 2 jars, but I'm not going to waste it. Okay. Sit like this. I'll be back. Yes, that mother's heavy. If you had asked me 4 years ago, I said, no, it's not heavy. It is now. I'm getting up there. Yes, it is, Kenya. It is. All right. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Please do, Gallagher. I look forward to it. I'm always willing to share. I gave you my post office box. Send it there with the title of it, and we'll see what we can do with it if you wish to share it with everybody. If you have recipes you like, listen, I'm sharing. I've shared 3,600 plus recipes with you, and I don't make everything the same way. Yeah, Jack, I have to be. Alina, how are you? All right, for the ice cream, we need heavy cream. We're going to need milk because we're going to have to make our light cream to go with it. Okay, so I know you're going to pop back and forth. Just don't crack. Okay. Let's see. We need sugar. Sugar's right over here too. Do, 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 do. Oh, I know everything is, oh God. All right. I have to wash the measuring cups out. I have to wash a bowl out too, because we have to get it out of the hot pot to make sure those eggs don't curdle. See, when you cook, you never have enough of everything. I don't care how much you have, you sit there and say, I need this, I need that. Especially when you're one thing right behind the other, you just don't have time. All right, measuring spoons I have. Do I have to whisk anything together in this? Okay, we need to whisk it too. I need the fine whisk for this one. I have different whisks, but this is my fine one. I think this is what I'm going to need. Let me see. Sugar together till thick and pale. Well, I'm thinking, should I use the other whisk or this one? Oh, I could use that one. That one is a big one. But we'll see. You're also going to need something that you can stick in the freezer. I have freezer glass. I don't know if Amazon has it. My husband came home with that one day for me to make ice cream. And I've had them ever since, and that was many years ago. I don't know if they have them anymore, so I cannot tell you that. I don't know, Gallagher. I really don't know. And for somebody not to have stamps or an envelope or paper or a pencil or a pen is, that's something I cannot comprehend. I am sorry, that my brain cannot go there. Okay. All right, so we're going to start. First, I'm going to have to show you how to make light cream. All right, this is the ratio for light cream. See, I have to write all this stuff down because I can't remember anything. All right, let's see. To make light cream, it's 2/3 of a cup of milk. Okay, so fill a measuring cup 2/3 with milk. And you're going to add 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream. That's it. Isn't that easy? That's light cream. Get a fork and mix it. Isn't that easy? Now you know how to make light cream. Okay. Almost. I'm not going to remove the vanilla bean. Okay. We need a saucepan. Okay. Gotta wash another dish. And I'll put the light cream, leave it out. My son can have that in their coffee. Whatever I don't use. Oh, we have to make more light cream? Okay, that means I am going to I'll put that in a smaller bowl. I have to make more than that. Have to make more light cream. Sorry. Have 1 cup here, and I want 1 1/4 cups. So I'll make another cup of light cream. Okay. This is 1 cup. Mix this up. I have to get a 1/4 out. So in your saucepan, you can put 1 and 1/4 cups light cream. Okay. Save the rest. My family. This we can have this morning. Where did I put that sauce? Cream. All right, and there I go again, messing the cookbooks up. Is that wet? No. All right. They want us to put the vanilla bean until almost boiling. We're going to cook a vanilla bean. Look, I'm going to tell you these things are about $20. All right, I'm not going to lie to you. You ought to see it when I order them. I go, oh my God, I gotta order 2-3 packages to make a half a gallon. They want me to heat the light cream with the vanilla bean until almost boiling, then remove the pan from heat, cover, and let it sit 20 minutes. They don't want me to cut it, they just want me to do that to it. You don't want me to open it? Okay. All right, we're going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to put it here to keep my cap off my... All right, let's get the stove lit. Oh, that's a long time. Hi, Paul. I put it on a short, okay? If I have to get the address again, I'll have to run upstairs. Check before this video's over and see if you find it on my shorts. If you go to the channel and just look under the shorts, because I did one and said this is my address to get in touch with. Thank you, Paul. All right, here we go. I'm going to have to plug you in or you guys are going to get disconnected. Give me a minute. Okay, let's get you cared for before you turn off and I lose. Okay. Yeah, I figured I used that much energy so far. Shoot. Sorry. I'm always knocking you down. You should get tired of that and tell me to quit doing it. Do I have a smaller spoon? Yep. Because this is milk and cream. No, it's gonna burn. I had my address post office box here. If you don't find it, let me know and I'll go get it while this is cooling. And maybe I should go get it now just in case. Hold on. Oh, that's from them. There'll be nothing I can do. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get it. Okay, I found my post office box for all of you. All right, it's America's Home Cooking in care of Sandra Hunt. All right, the post office box number is 30102. This is in Staten Island, New York, and my zip is 10303. Now I'm going to put it over here so I don't lose it. Okay. Vanilla bean, you got to stay down here, but we got to bring you to almost a boil. We're not going to bring this to a complete boil. We're just bringing it just up to boiling. So it'll just be starting. Oh, you're getting the smell of the vanilla. Oh, we're making ice cream now. We're making a rich vanilla ice cream. And after that, we'll start making different flavored ones. I gave a basic one for the custard to show you how it worked. One of my top favorite is cream chip beef over buttermilk biscuits. Another dish I love very much is blueberry pie. I don't want to buy a blueberry pie that's all syrup and I have to look for the blueberries. When I cut it, I want to see blueberries from the top to the bottom. So those are two of my favorite meals. I love pina coladas. If they're done right, I love pina coladas. Fruit is something my mother used to call me a fruit. I could eat cheese, fruit, salad, and whole grain breads. I love those a lot. A lot of whole grain sourdough breads and stuff. So it's not often you just see me make plain white bread. Well, French bread. I finally found something I can add into it to make it more nutritious. Buenos dias, Isaiah. Oh, you really smell the vanilla coming through. Now, when we're done, we're not throwing this vanilla bean out. We're going to take this vanilla bean. I say dry it off and save it for another day. I said, okay, I can do that. Because they're expensive enough as they are. Okay, this has to sit for 20 minutes or until cool. Get it off the hot burner right away. Wonder if I could put it in a bowl. Can I put it in a bowl? No, you want it covered. Okay. Okay, it's got to sit 20 minutes. They say put a lid on it. And we have to leave it alone for 20 minutes. Oh, enjoy those pies. I can't pick blueberries. I eat them as fast as I pick them. I went and picked my boysenberry. I ate every last one of them. They tasted so good as I was picking. I am notorious. It's just like if I have to go pick apples for an apple tree, I'm going to start eating because I like the fruit. I'm sorry, I'm a glutton. Let's say you want to say that, but that's me. They want 20 minutes on that? God, we got to wait for a whole on the hour. Is there anything I can do before that? All right. Okay, we could do that. So we covered it and we're going to let it sit for 20 minutes. The vanilla bean has to sit there for 20 minutes. Golly good. Did you find the address? Hello, did you find the address, anybody? Did you get it, or do you want me to read it out? I went upstairs and got it out of my wallet. All right, so we're going to let that sit for 20 minutes. Then we're going to remove the vanilla bean, rinse it, pat it dry, and store for future use. So it's nice that we're going to get more. Okay, I'll give it to you right now. I'll give you a few minutes to get pen and paper or a pencil or whatever, and I'll get it. Read it out again. Okay, let me know when you get something to write with and the paper, and I'll give it to you. Okay, we could do that. Yeah, that's the part I hate. Okay, America's Home Cooking. Yeah, I know about that. In care of Sandra Hunt. Giving you time to write it out. Post Office Box 30102. Staten Island, New York. 10303. Do you need me to repeat it? Did you get it, Gallagher? I'll read it one more time. Lady of Rosemary. What? Sandra? Sip that. Scratch it. America's Home Cooking. In care of Sandra Hunt. Post Office Box 30102. Staten Island, New York. 10303. All right. That's it. That's the post office box. I always keep that in my wallet because I can't remember it. And I don't want to sit there and do it. I couldn't believe I was giving you my email address. Sandra, where was your head? You know? You're very welcome. All right, so we have to wait for that. Then we're going to take the bean, we're going to rinse it, dry it, and store it. And they'll want us then, in a bowl, we're going to be whisking some egg yolks and sugar together. And we're going to till it's thick and pale. That's why you need the whisk, because we're going to make sure we get that. It'll be a pale color as you whisk it. At first it won't. But as we whisk it, it'll come up that way, all right? And then we're going to have to bring almost to boiling, because that's when we're going to be cooking this custard. And we've got to make sure that these eggs don't curdle. You have to make sure you get them back into a bowl and get them out of your pan, because your pan is hot. It's going to continue cooking them, so we'll have to remove them. No, it wouldn't. I don't think so, unless you do overnight delivery. And that's what, like $50 or so, and it takes 2 days to get where it's going. I mean, I ordered some meat and they said it was frozen. When it got to me, there was no ice in it and it wasn't cold. So I said, if I'm going to order meat, as tight as they packed it and everything else, the meat was good and fresh, but all that ice and everything in it melted. Yeah, you messed up. We'll do it again. Okay? Because if you don't get that custard just right, man, it messes up every time. You don't know how many times I've gone to the trash and gone, Phoom! Learning to make ice cream, like making croissants, are some of the hardest things to do. I just made my crepe. I am terrified of making crepes. Okay, I have to admit, I am terrified. I made my first crepe, and some of them were a little thick, shouldn't have been thick. They didn't roll as easy as they should. The other ones came out nice and thin, just the way they're supposed to. But, you know, when you have, when you're going to do something like that, it sort of puts your brakes on because you're a little leery. But the thing is that you can overcome. You just have to work at it. Like, I've been trying to frost cakes. My cakes look like garbage, but they always have great flavor. But I can't make cakes anymore, layered cakes, because this oven is too crooked. So I have to hold off. So be aware, you know. But my frostings look terrible. One person said I wouldn't eat it, look that bad. I said, that's all right, it tastes great, you know. What is Aussie talking about? Just say hi. Yeah, good morning. We're still waiting. I'm sorry, we have to wait a bit. There's nothing more I can do. Oh, this is the part that I dislike when I'm cooking. But you're getting a lot of recipes today. We've done the bread. You saw how I started my stock before I even got started with you. We've made mayonnaise, and now we're making ice cream. How many? Now, if you have large eggs, remember you have to put 5. We're going to need 5 eggs if you have large. If you have extra large, we only need 4. And if you want, okay, you have to Google, and it'll tell you you need the weight of the eggs is how they judge them. So find out what the weight is for extra large eggs, and then say how many small eggs will it take, and then you have a better idea. Or if you have a scale, you can just crack until you get the weight, you know, to where it has to be. You know, as you put the egg yolks into your scale, just keep cracking until you have a number that works for you. Okay, we need heavy cream. You know I need heavy cream. Well, I don't need it now, do I? Hold on. Okay, I don't need any more heavy cream for now. We'll get to this later. I can actually say you're staying in the kitchen with me as I'm cooking and doing all these crazy things so you can see how it's done. So we have to wait for that. That's where we're actually stuck right now. There is nothing I can do until further notice. So that's it. Yeah, well, you have to find out how much 4 extra large eggs weigh. Extra large eggs weigh. Then ask Google how many small eggs equal to 4 extra large eggs in weight. If you can't do that, buy extra large eggs and weigh them. If you have a scale, see where they're at, and then start adding. Take them off and add small eggs till you get that number where you need it, and then it'll work. Colleen, hi, how are you? Hi, Aussie. So that's the only way you can do it. I can't Google because I have a live. I would look it up for you, but you're going to have to look it up on yourself. But we've done the canning, we've done the bread started, and we're working on this ice cream. We've made buttermilk, and it's, as you can see, the buttermilk is going to be sitting for the day or until tomorrow morning. Tonight we'll have to refeed the sourdough bread that I'm making, which is a rye country bread, and I have the flour sitting over there. So we've done a few things this morning. I should do my dishes, is what I should be doing at this time in life. You could actually say today is come spend time in the kitchen with me, because I'm doing so much on this page probably right now. No, if he doesn't get those egg yolks right, because that's going to be your binder, or those egg yolks, he's going to have to make sure in order to get the right measurement. Most recipes are exact measurements, and then you can play with them. A cake is 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar. You have 3 cups of flour, but you'll have 4 eggs. You can add your leavenings and stuff like that. Bread, for a loaf of bread, is usually a 1-3. It'll be 1 cup of liquid, 2-3 cups of flour. That's pretty much the basic for that. Biscuits is 2 to 2/3. But you can alternate and change it by adding ingredients and switching these things around. You can come up with it. Muffins are an exact same way. All what you do is you can add or subtract. If you take flour away, what are you going to use for the flour in place to give it that weight that it needs? If you don't want to use milk, but you want to mix milk with something, you cut back on the milk and you add that to keep that balance together. All baking, really, even cookies, they all have their ratios. When they go off those ratios, that's when you start ending up with problems. So when you see me, and I'm always, let's say I'm in a coffee cake, making coffee cakes right now, there's a ratio to it. I can sit there and cut back. If they say white sugar, and I said, well, I don't want to use white sugar. I'm going to use a mixture of sugars or anything, but I make sure that if I'm putting something really sweet in it, I have to cut back on that sugar. If I don't, and it's tart, you have to balance that tart with the sweetness so you get the flavor that you're looking for. All of these things are in ratios. If you make your own baking powder and you have a recipe that says baking powder and baking soda, it's going to collapse, because baking powder without a retard is baking soda, believe it or not. That's why I make my baking powder, and every recipe I give you, I say, if you're buying baking powder at the store, you have to add this baking soda to it. I bypass the baking soda in all the recipes now because I don't need it, because I'm making my own baking powder. So you can see when you start doing these things, it's all ratios. It really is. But you just have to know those ratios, stay within them. And like if it says a cup of milk, you say, well, I want to add sour cream in place of the milk here. And now remember, the sour cream's a little thicker, so you might have to add a little more to it. This is when I use discard. And you see, like when I made those waffles, and I said, let's use a cup of flour and a cup of potato flour. Well, I found out in a hurry, I should have gone way back. Oh my God. Well, anyway, we ate the waffles. There was no waste to it. But you saw me. I used all my discard. I knew my discard was thick. I ended up, what else did I add in it? Buttermilk, I think. I added milk until I could thin it out enough where I could cook. A mistake made, but I ended up correcting it while I was working. So according to what you're working with is going to be these ratios that you work with. But basically, candy, I think, is pretty much the same. There's certain things and steps you have to take whenever you make any kind of candy. I am not good at it. My girlfriend is. She's going to show me how to do it. Yeah, okay. Hi, Jacob. Thank you. So always remember when you're working or you're going to bake. I mean, I can come cook with me and show people who don't know how to do this. A lot of people already buy a cornmeal mix to make cornbread. We're going to learn to make cornbread, and when it cools, we're going to cut it. I'm going to show you how to make croutons out of it. Okay, so we're going to be going in that direction, but I think come cook with me. I'm going to be making cornbread, and I'm going to show you how to make the one I like is my favorite one, so I'm going to share my favorite one with you, and you can work with it and learn how to make cornbread. You already know how to make, what did I show you? I showed you how to make French bread. I'm going to show you how to make biscuits. I think I showed you how to make biscuits. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but we're learning some basic things that you would like. Gigi Easy. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, you're right, but a lot of people have trouble with it. But you can see a lot of people on this channel here cannot cook basics. They buy the cornmeal mix because they don't know how to make it. The cornmeal mix is an ABC, very easy to make. Like I showed you how to make a biscuit. It's very easy. You just have to remember you have to keep it in the refrigerator because I have oil in it and I don't have a retard in it. So there's these things that you can do and make on your own, and they're easy to do. But for people who don't know, this is like a big stumbling block. If they can't make cornbread or understand the terminology, they're blocked. So they have to buy it. They have to buy rolls because they just don't know. Mothers are not teaching their children how to cook, their little girls or even their little boys. And this becomes a real issue because if men don't marry, eating out is so expensive, but if they could do some things at home, they could save themselves some money. And I know men, like if you don't have a wife, you're pretty sure you can save up your money and invest it. But with women and children, it's like a never-ending problem. Keeping them clothed and fed and housed, they can drive you. Okay, so understand that. Gallery, I have learned, you do not know how many things my husband insisted that he bought bowls for bread. I said, I need ceramic glazed. He bought me metal bowls. It did not rise. He bought me glass bowls. Did not rise. I said, would you please? And you don't know. He said, keep trying, Sandy. Now, I know how to make bread. I look at the yeast and it rises. But during this whole time frame, nothing was rising. And we had to go to a bake shop to buy bread. And he finally found ceramic bowls, glazed, and he brought them in, and my bread was rising. I said, it can't rise in those bowls because they're too cold. They don't hold the heat in, so they take longer to rise unless the house is warm. And that's why I use these bowls. I can throw a towels over them, and just 2 towels, and just let it sit, and it's nice and warm, and they feel cuddly, and they'll grow. She doesn't want to cook. It's not that she doesn't know how, she doesn't want to. And most women will get embarrassed in the fact that they can, that a man cooks. But actually, men were the ones, like they said, men were the ones who wore heels. Men were the ones who had what they called, we'll call it a purse for general principle, generally. And he kept his equipment there to light a fire and everything else. And he was a warrior. Skirts he wore, they were looser and more comfortable for him, better known as kilts today. So you think about it. Women have taken what men had. Men are the ones who wore wigs to put your station, like if you were a judge, like in England, they still have the wig they put over their heads and everything else. Men did that because that was a station. Women took over because they were going bald and doing everything to their hair and everything else. Makeup, the men in the Middle East, they say they put this stuff on and it keeps the sun so they could see with the high sun, because it's really bright out there. I don't know how true that is. I cannot say amen to it, that it's God truth. But they were the ones who had all this, and women took it away from them. So they were the first. Men wore heels when they rode the horses because their feet could stay in the stirrup. The heels locked it in. But coming out of them, I'm sure it hurt their feet walking. Enjoy it, Drizzle. Keep your dry yeast in the refrigerator next to the butter. Check the date on it. And yes, I did a come cook with me with French bread, but I will make another one. Look for it, Gallagher. I'm a little busy. I'm not as busy as I was last week was bad. I'll see if I can make start some French bread tomorrow after I finish the rye up. We'll walk into the French bread if I have time for you. And I'll give you the recipe I worked on. You're going to need all-purpose flour. You're going to need cornmeal. You're going to need salt, water, oil. You'll need some cookie sheets or a baking sheet. You'll need a brush because we have to brush it with water. You'll need you'll probably use, I don't know if you have a bread knife or not, but if you don't, that's okay. You'll need measuring spoons, liquid and dry, and the spoons as well, and a bowl. All right? And we'll make that tomorrow, and it'll be a come cook with me tomorrow for you, Gallagher. Make sure that I'm going to be up early, so be sure. I should start that anywhere. Let's see if I start the other one. If I get up at 4 by 4:30, I'm going to have to be working on the rye bread after I put it and set it to rise to go in the oven. I'll start the French bread right behind it. So somewhere between 4:30 and 5:30, I'll be doing it. And it's a simple bread recipe that I learned on that one. Okay? So we'll do that. Okay. 20 minutes. Now what do you want me to do? Remove the vanilla bean. Okay, we have to get the vanilla bean out of here. Come on. It does smell like vanilla. I have to tell you that. You're going to do scrub the vanilla bean. Okay, I rinsed my vanilla bean off completely. Very well. They said do it, and I'm going to dry it and put it in the refrigerator. All right, now we're ready for the eggs. In a bowl. All right, we need 4 extra large or 5 large. I have large, so I'm going to be doing 5 eggs. We just want the yolks. We do not want the whites. Okay. Oh, okay. The lives are there. People come and see them after. As far as I know, they're put out there on my channel. Some of them you can't see. Some of them because they are for people who join. Oh, Sandra, please, what are you doing? Oh. Let's get this pad under here. I am messing this book up. All right. We need a 1/2 cup of sugar in the egg yolks. 1/2 cup. Taffy, please get out from underneath my feet. Okay. You're going to have to watch this. There's nothing I can do to explain it other than it's going to be frothy and a paler yellow than what it is. All right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to have to beat this. Hi, Cynthia. Artie. Now, you see how rich that yellow is? We're going to beat this with a whisk until it becomes a pale, pale yellow, and it will. Your arm is going to feel it. And this wrist is sore. What hot water? My hot water heater in my basement is... Are you talking to me, Artie? Listen, I've had to boil water too at a hunting camp. So I learned a lot of things. Oh, that wrist hurts me so much. You can do this 5 to 10 minutes before you get where you're going with this. I see some people are leaving, but that's okay. Oh, shoot. See how it's turning a paler yellow? That's what you want. Oh God, blueberry pies are wonderful. 7 Ibasi. Very important that you do this part. As you can see, my arm really lets me know. That wrist, I tore it when I was washing clothes by hand because the washing machine was out for 2.5 weeks. So I was washing clothes every day by hand. And it was letting me know. So now I think I taste good. We're going to reheat this cream up that had the vanilla bean in it. Kathy, I'm going to step on you, young man, and you can wait. I am not feeding you now. Yeah, I know you're going to kill my arm. Okay. What did I do? Okay. So we're going to reheat. We've got the egg and the sugar mixed. We've got to reheat this up to almost boiling. Yeah, you can. No, I'm not feeding you yet. You can wait. You are not dying. You eat before. I haven't even had breakfast. You forgot to put some flour into it. That's what you did wrong, Alex. When you're doing a blueberry filling for a pie, you add the sugar and the flavoring, but gently. You do not want to rupture those blueberries. It also takes 2 to 3 tablespoons, if I remember. You sprinkle flour over it and mix it up. So any juice that comes out of the blueberries will sit there and hold it. That's what you're missing, is the flour that goes into it. Then you gently, and they tell you whenever you handle blueberries, handle them very gently. If you rupture them, you're going to have too much liquid. So when the pie cooks, whatever liquids come out, the flour will adhere to it and bind them together. That's what you're doing wrong. You're welcome, Alex. Yeah, he's fatter than his brother. His other brother, I didn't know he had a hair problem. I found out. No, Taffy. Oh, he's hungry. He's always hungry. You could lose a pound. It won't kill you. You have to wait. You'll hear his anger in time. He gets like that. He gets really, really angry with me. So we're going to heat this up, stirring because we don't want this to burn. Then we'll mix it with the custard. Then we're going to pour it back in here, and we're going to do the custard. Right now we're just heating this up. Yeah, that's right. You have to add some flour. Some all-purpose flour will take care of that problem very, very nicely. No, but they always tell you when you're handling berries, be very gentle. If you rupture them, you mess the pies up. So remember, this is an extra rich vanilla ice cream we're making. A crumble pie, that sounds like a coffee cake that you make, Alex. A crumble pie, I've never heard of that. I'd like a recipe to see how it's done. But it does sound like what we call a coffee cake. And by the way, that citrus coffee cake I made, oh my God, my sons went, Mommy, they said, Mommy, that is so good. He said, where'd you get the citrus? I said, you have to make that citrus marmalade. I don't know if they sell it in the store, so I can't answer for the store. Now you know when it's getting ready to boil, because it'll just start forming bubbles around the edges before it starts bubbling in the middle. That is your key that it's hot enough. No, Gallagher, pies are very easy to make. It's just some few, like I said, there are basic rules and ratios you have to know. Once you stay within those ratios and you can mix different things up, take away and add here, you've got it. But you've got to keep those liquids in your dry ratios always. No, when I make a pie, I like to start the crust at night and put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then roll it out the next morning after I put the filling together. And then I pour the filling into it. If it's going to have a top, there'll be a top on it. If there's not, it's an open pie, or if I'm going to do a lattice topping on it, what most people would consider a checkerboard, overlapping strips. And that's basically it. But if you don't love what you're doing, it's not going to work. But I have heard a lot of people make simple mistakes. And I love people who sit there on the internet, and I do watch other shows. I love the way they tell you, oh, you just do this, this, and this. They leave so many steps out, and they force you to pay them to get it doing right. But they're not cooks, and they're doing something, but they can't explain what they're doing to you or how they're doing it. They just say do it this way, but that's not helping anybody. All right, I've got the bubbles on the side, so it's boiling. And turn this way down. All right, we're back over here. Okay, sorry, I'm going to be moving you around. That's a coffee cake. That's what we call it here. You're talking about a coffee cake. That's what we call it here. Yeah, I've been making some coffee cakes. Slowly pour this hot milk in, or you're going to cook these eggs, and that's not what you want to do. That's the vanilla. Okay, they want you to wash this out. Oh. told you, get underfoot, you're going to get stepped on. I don't want to step on you. Just get away from me for now, and I will get your food when I get this in the refrigerator, because we're going to have to cool this. Oh yeah, I know you're going to complain, right? All right, you're going to pour this mixture back into this pan, okay? Rinse this bowl out, you're going to need it. The reason we're going to rinse this out is if once we heat this up and it turns into custard, we have to cool it. And if you leave it in the pan is going to continue cooling. As I know, I keep on repeating this, but that's a big mistake a lot of people make. I should know, I was one of them until I was corrected. I couldn't make ice cream. Okay, we're back at the stove again. Okay. Now, they're going to tell you the custard is going to leave a coating on the back of your spoon. Oh, okay. Now you can't afford a really high flame on this, or you will curdle these eggs. So a low flame is what we're working on. No, Taffy, please. Now you can see we got bubbles on the back of the spoon. You see how it's dripping off, but it's not really coated. The bubbles from the whisking and all will disappear, and then when you pick your spoon up and it coats the back of the spoon, that's custard. That means the eggs are not curdled, but the eggs are hot enough. It's all binding together, and the sugar has dissolved. Because if you bring this so much as to a boil, that's it. You start all over. Like I said, I went through a lot of that. Well, I'm making this vanilla ice cream because I'm going to make ice cream muffins. Okay, so if you want to know, I'm making this so I can make ice cream muffins, and we'll have that. Something different. I don't know how they're going to come out, but it sounds like they'll come out nice. And when we get to the custard, I get it in the bowl. We have to wait for this to cool. I have to stick it in the refrigerator for an hour or so. So I will be cutting the film off and clean up my mess from everything that I've been doing so far. I'll have to get stuff out so my son can make that meal. I do not know. I've never made the recipe. I've never made ice cream muffins, but they're going to be muffins, and it's going to be made with ice cream. So we'll find out. Taffy, no. Now I can't stop what I'm doing now. I have to get this cooked and in a cool bowl, and it has to be chilled. It's cool enough in my house, so I just set it on the table. I've been doing just about 3 hours. You guys have been with me for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm surprised you stay that long. I have to say, yes, that is a long time. But this is just, making bread, ice cream, canning, making buttermilk. See? You see that coat on the spoon? It's coming. Taking it off the flame. So I don't want it to cook. Then all of this goes to waste. Now, is that coating a spoon or is that coating a spoon? You see that? That's what you call coating a spoon. And I can see it building up, getting ready to boil. So I'm going to put this over here. Before it ran off. Yeah. So it coated the spoon nice. You see that? So we're going to pour it in this bowl. This will keep it from curdling. And I'm just going to go cool it. And that's it. So it's going to be an hour. Yes. I'll be making a quiche this week too. I'm going to make an herb crust with it. I think would be really nice. So you can either put this in the refrigerator or leave it on the table. I'm going to leave mine on the table under the fan. It'll cool fast enough. Yes, Taffy, I'm going to feed you. Okay, that's it for about an hour, hour and a half. So let's see, it's 8:30, 9:30, maybe around 10 o'clock. That should be ready. And we'll get it in the ice cream machine and start getting whipped cream and stuff together, okay? So I will see you then. Take care for now.